One of the most common conversations I have with buyers moving to this area in North Gwinnett County goes something like this. They're looking at homes online, everything looks great, the price feels right, and then they notice something. The home is in Buford, but it's not in Buford City Schools, it's Gwinnett County Schools. But the one down the street is in Buford City Schools, and suddenly they're confused. Is Buford City Schools better? Is it harder to get into? Why are homes sometimes more expensive inside that district? And does it even matter for my family? If you're moving to this area, understanding the difference between Buford City Schools and Gwinnett County Schools can have a huge impact on where you choose to live. So today I'm going to break down what makes these two systems different and why buyers care so much about it and how to decide which one might make more sense for your situation. If we haven't met before, I'm Sarah. I'm a real estate agent here in the North Atlanta suburbs. And a huge part of what I help buyers figure out is not just which house they want, but which community actually fits their life. And when people start looking around Buford and they have school-aged children, this school question comes up almost immediately. Buford City Schools and Gwinnett County Schools are very different. So let me tell you what you need to know. The most important thing to understand is that Buford City Schools is its own independent school district. It is not part of Gwinnett County Public Schools. Gwinnett County Schools is one of the largest school districts in the entire country. It serves well over 180,000 students across dozens of schools. Buford City Schools, on the other hand, is very small. It's a little over 6,000 students. It's a city-run district that serves only students who live inside the Buford city limits. That means one elementary school, one middle school, and one high school. And the entire district is built around that single feeder pattern. Because it's smaller, decisions are often made locally, and the community tends to be very involved in the schools. And that leads to one of the reasons people talk about Buford City Schools so much. If you've heard people talk about Buford City Schools before, it's usually because one of two things. The first is academics. Buford schools consistently perform very well and tends to have strong graduation rates and college placement numbers. But the second reason, and honestly the one that gets talked about just as much, is athletics. Buford High School is extremely well known in Georgia for its football program and athletics overall. Friday night games are packed, the community shows up, and there's a huge sense of school pride. For some families, that strong school culture is a huge draw. The schools become a big part of the identity of the city. Now, that doesn't mean that Gwinnett County Schools don't offer great opportunities. They absolutely do, but the experience can feel different because of the size of the school district. Gwinnett County Public Schools is massive, but with that size comes a lot of resources and variety. You'll find specialized programs, magnet schools, language immersion programs, a variety of extracurricular opportunities, and advanced academic tracks, and so much more. Because there are so many schools across the county, families have more variety depending on the specific cluster they're in. And that's something people sometimes miss when they compare the two. Gwinnett County Schools isn't just one thing. Different clusters can feel very different depending on the schools and the community and the programs that are offered. So while Buford City Schools is smaller and very centralized, Gwinnett offers scale and tons of opportunities. So here's where the real estate side of this conversation comes in, because school districts directly influence housing demand. Homes inside of Buford City School District often sell at a premium compared to the homes just outside that boundary. And that's simply because the number of homes inside that district is limited. You can literally drive down the street and cross from Gwinnett County Public Schools into Buford City Schools based on the city limits. And the home values can shift noticeably. It's not always dramatic, but buyers who specifically want Buford City Schools, they are competing for a smaller number of homes, and basic supply and demand takes over. You may be asking, okay, Sarah, cut it to me straight. Which one is better? And this is the question that everyone asks. The honest answer is it really depends on your family. Some families love the smaller community feel of Buford City Schools. They like that everyone feeds into the same middle school and the same high school, and they like the sense of identity around the schools. Other families prefer Gwinnett County Schools because of the variety. They might want access to magnet programs or specific academic tracks, certain extracurricular opportunities, or special needs resources. Neither option is automatically better, they're just different environments. And the right fit really depends on what matters most to your kids and your lifestyle. Here's something that surprises a lot of people moving to this area. Just because a home has a Buford address does not mean it's in Buford City Schools. Parts of Buford are still served by Gwinnett County Schools or even Hall County Schools, depending on where you are. So when buyers start searching online and they say, I want to live in Buford, we always have to clarify. Do you mean inside the city limits, or do you mean like the broader Buford area? Because those two things can lead to very different school assignments. And that's something that's really important to understand before falling in love with a home online. When buyers are deciding between Buford City Schools and Gwinnett County Schools, the decision usually comes down to what kind of school environment feels like the best fit for their family. Some people love the smaller, tight-knit feel of Buford City Schools, and others prefer the variety and resources that come with a larger district like Gwinnett. Both options can offer great opportunities. The key is understanding how they differ before choosing where you want to live. If you're thinking about moving to Buford or anywhere in the North Atlanta suburbs and you're trying to figure out which areas might fit your family best, I've put together a guide to several of the top suburbs around Atlanta. You can grab that in the description below. And if you have any questions about Buford or schools or neighborhoods, feel free to drop them in the comments. I read everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.